May 25th, 2018. That date is the last time that artist and entrepreneur A$AP Rocky released a solo studio album. August 30th, 2024, Rocky will finally be releasing his highly anticipated fourth studio album. However, it has been a very long and complicated road to the release of D.M.B. The project has gone through multiple phases since its estimated origin in December of 2020, and according to Rocky himself, the multiple delays in the past 4 years have been mainly due to leaks. Rocky undoubtedly has changed the concept of the record a little bit as well, first describing this album in 2022 as, quote, a ghetto love story, centered around his relationship with Rihanna. 2 years after that quote, with the album just a month away, it seems as if Rocky has shifted the project to hold a theme of political satire, aligning with his new clothing line, American Sabotage. A$AP Rocky's fourth studio album has truly gone through various different phases and conceptual alterations over the past 4 years. And because of that, I think somebody ought to really document all of the activity that has led to this album finally dropping. And it just so happens that I'm the man for the job. So, before the album drops in just 1 month, let's look into the complicated rollout of A$AP Rocky's Don't Be Dumb. After testing released in May of 2018, A$AP Rocky's next solo album was originally set to be a concept record referred to by fans as All Smiles. Rocky has since said that All Smiles was not the official name for this album, but it is believed that he scrapped this concept record and transitioned to a completely new body of work in September of 2020. Around that time, September 2020, A$AP Rocky would go ahead and record a song called No ID, aka Grim Freestyle. And this is a song that he would then premiere on Instagram on the 22nd of December 2020. All throughout 2021, Rocky would use that term grim a whole lot. It would be in his bio on Instagram, it would be in the caption of posts, and along with all that, as well as premiering the track in December, a lot of fans began to speculate that, hey, maybe this upcoming album of Rocky's is called Grim. While it has never been confirmed if Grim was a working title for the record or not, Rocky would first talk about the progress of this record for the first time in May of 2021, participating in an interview with GQ. Rocky would truly give away some major details about this project's concept, saying that most of the work on the record was done while on a cross-country road trip with Rihanna. Rocky would say that Rihanna was giving him advice and criticism for this album on the road, which is honestly really interesting because the album also was pretty much kind of about their relationship. When speaking on the record's concept, Rocky would say that his upcoming album was best described as, quote, a ghetto love tale, and was apparently way more mature than his previous releases. Rocky would also reveal that this record was going to have major contributions from fucking Morrissey, the lead singer of the Smiths. Flacco would say that he was actually very pleasant to work with, and apparently Morrissey didn't just send in vocals for like a single feature, but he actually helped write and produce a lot as well. The thing is, of course, that this interview was done in May of 2021, and Rocky's vision for his album back then in 2021 certainly is not the same as in July 2024, with the thing dropping obviously in August. So whether any of these Morrissey tracks, or in general any of the songs made to, have that romantic love tale vibe end up on the released version of Don't Be Dumb, we'll just have to wait and see. But Rocky would say in this interview, again in May of 2021, that the album was about 90% complete. And an entire year after this interview released, in May of 2022, Rocky would finally release the first single for this project. A$AP Rocky would release D.M.B. on May 5th, 2022, a song dedicated to Rocky's longtime partner, Rihanna. The track is honestly one of my favorite Rocky songs, please do not shoot me, and it released along with a music video furthering on that romance concept that Rocky spoke about in the GQ piece. And again, a year after that GQ interview, Rocky would go ahead and do yet another interview, this time with Dazed magazine, to speak on the progression of his upcoming album following the release of D.M.B. Along with clarifying that the project will not be called All Smiles, Rocky would say that the album was being wrapped up and that he was shooting so many visuals for it. He would also speak on the upcoming album sound, again here in May of 2022, and Rocky would say that it was going to be a step away from the industrial sound on Testing, moving towards a more polished sound. Despite saying that the album process was being wrapped up, Rocky would not release any form of an album in 2022. However, what he would do is make a habit out of premiering new tracks that fans expected to hear on this upcoming release at live shows. Between Smokers Club Fest in April, Rolling Loud Portugal in July, and Rolling Loud New York in September, Rocky would play the following unreleased songs: Grim Freestyle, Go featuring Playboi Carti, Thunder featuring Lil Wayne, Mushroom Clouds featuring Reggie, Lunatic featuring Skepta, Bakar and Lay-Z, Riot aka Piper, and Taylor Swift. In September, Rocky would also go ahead and post a whole ass song and music video on Instagram featuring Playboi Carti called Sights. When asked about the status of this song in 2023 and whether or not it will be released on the album, Rocky would basically say that he dropped it as a Lucy and it's not going to be on the record because people leaked it. He basically got the news that someone leaked the track and he said, fuck it, just put it out. And apparently he said in this interview, which we'll get to, that Taylor Swift, the same goes for that track. But then he played it the next day, like after this fucking interview. But we'll get into more detail as to how leaks have affected this album's release process in a little bit. Again, A$AP Rocky did a whole lot of performing throughout the summer and fall of 2022. That's where we got that long list of unreleased tracks that he premiered. And also, of course, before we go on, if we're doing a timeline for Don't Be Dumb, we gotta mention the mosh pit picture. Fuck yeah, Rolling Loud New York. But shit regarding A$AP Rocky's fourth studio album would truly start to heat up for the first time, in my opinion, in the winter of 2022. On December 2nd, 2022, Rocky would release the single Shitting Me in collaboration with EA Sports' at the time new Need for Speed game. The song actually originated in the All Smiles era, that project after Testing that Rocky was first working on before moving on to Grimm. So it was pretty cool to see it officially release, despite it not being planned for the album. Rocky would reveal that the track was put out as a Lucy, basically to kickstart hype for his upcoming album, telling Complex around the time of the single's release, "We're still wrapping the album now. Like I told everybody last time, the Rolling Loud performance was my last performance until the album was wrapped. And now it's about time that we start dropping songs and getting prepared for the rollout. There's a lot in store, and I'm excited about everything. Without giving out too many surprises, it's some cool shit in store. And it's not a situation where they're going to have to wait long. It's like A$AP, no pun intended." Well, that aged poorly. However, just days after the release of the single would come one of the most important days in this album's entire rollout, as on December 8th, 2022, A$AP Rocky would go ahead and announce during an NFL Thursday night football game the name of his fourth studio album.
Thursday night football, Amazon, my first time back on the stage, album's finished, don't be dumb, let's go.
That's right, in December of 2022, Rocky said that Don't Be Dumb was finished, at least this alteration of the project. And you may be wondering, why the fuck was he even on Thursday Night Football? Well, they did this whole thing where Thursday Night Football, if you know, you know, it's on Amazon Prime Video now, at least it was in 2022, that was a deal they reached. And after the show, after the game anyway, Rocky had a whole performance on Amazon Music. So the whole thing was a little promo to hype up his performance with Amazon Music. But that performance in and of itself would be pretty eventful as well, as Rocky would go ahead and perform 3 brand new songs that were expected to be on Don't Be Dumb. Two of the three tracks performed, Riot and Mushroom Clouds, had already been played previously for fans at festivals, but it was still a big deal for them to be played here with the whole professional audio setup and production quality. However, for the first time ever, Rocky would premiere the track Same Problems, which would prove to be a very emotional track. Both the song and performance would act as a tribute to hip-hop legends who have lost their lives to various issues spanning from drug abuse to gun violence. And during the performance, Rocky would have the stage screens display pictures of many rap artists who we have lost, as well as his close friend A$AP Yams. And the following month, Rocky would put this track out officially on streaming on Yams Day, January 18th, 2023. Despite kicking off the new year 2023 with the release of a new single, Don't Be Dumb would apparently be delayed once again, as news regarding the album would go quiet until the summertime. A$AP Rocky would return to the limelight with yet another single, this time releasing the track Riot on July 20th. And this would be released just days before his first performance in the US for this year, 2023. Before we get into the performance where Rocky played some new tracks, we got to talk about yet another interview that Rocky did, this time with Complex, after releasing the new single to give some insight on his current creative vision regarding Don't Be Dumb. Because again, it had been about 6-7 months since we last even heard him talk about the album. Rocky would first confirm a long list of producers who have credits on the album, or at least the version of the album in July of 2023. Those being Pharrell, Tyler the Creator, Mike Dean, The Alchemist, Hit Boy, Swedish House Mafia, Madlib, Hit Kid, and Metro Boomin, before getting into the alleged reason behind the various delays for this record. This is where Rocky would officially reveal that the reason for the album delays over the past 3 years at the point of this interview was due to leaks. He would say, "They gotta stop leaking it. These dummies gotta stop leaking shit. Every time we have to go back to the drawing board, but right now I think it's in a place where we tighten it up, and we really can't make or break anything right now. We in album mode. It's time to start rolling out the project. This is just a single for the project. This is really happening." This is also where Rocky would say that sites with Cardi and Taylor Swift will not be on the official album because of, again, them being leaked. But Rocky would go ahead and play Taylor Swift at the previously mentioned performance, which we're going to get into now, Rolling Loud Miami. At the show, Rocky would not only play Taylor Swift, but also Grim Freestyle and various other unreleased and unheard of songs for the first time, including a song that appeared to be dissing Travis Scott at the time, All Black. I say at the moment because now that some time has passed, honestly, myself and a lot of other people have started to piece the details together that maybe All Black is about Drake. We'll see if it ends up on the album. But between his comments in the Complex interview and the various songs he premiered at Rolling Loud, it truly seemed as if Rocky was getting ready to drop. On August 1st, Rocky would take to Twitter and tweet out August, a reference to August of 2017 when Rocky's label AWGE dropped multiple projects throughout the month of August. With this tweet, a lot of people started theorizing that A$AP Rocky was gonna drop in August of 2023, and also Playboi Carti was going to release his album in August of 2023 because he still is a part of AWGE. And at this point in time, he was about to go on his Antagonist tour, which he couldn't go on a tour unless he put out the album, right? He canceled the fucking tour. As for Rocky, despite the tease as well as the promo run for the single, he would once again dip after building up hype around this time in August, where his second child would be born. Apparently, going quiet on fans for a third time was not the plan originally though, as in September, Rocky was allegedly going to drop the song Taylor Swift, aka Weddy, on the 15th. An early version of the track leaked back in July of 2022, along with the music video. And as you guys remember, Rocky said in that interview with Complex that he was not going to put out the song due to that fact. However, he apparently changed his mind. That is until the newer version of Weddy that was going to drop on September 15th, 2023 would also leak legitimately the night before the scheduled release. Despite Rocky's label posting the song, the track would not drop on streaming, and we have not heard about the track since. Rocky has tried to drop this song on numerous occasions only to halt plans due to leaks. I mean, he even put out merch for this track on the AWGE website back in 2022, but at this point, I'm not entirely sure if it'll make the album still. I guess in a few weeks on August 30th, we'll find out for ourselves. In October, he would do an interview with D.M.B magazine, reflecting on his newfound fatherhood and saying that his current album he is working on, aka Don't Be Dumb, is his best album yet. But despite promising fans that the album would drop in 2023, Rocky would not put out any more music for the remainder of the year. While the silence was frustrating for fans, who have been waiting on a new A$AP Rocky album for 6 years at this point, this time is apparently where Rocky would put the finishing touches on Don't Be Dumb, abandoning the limelight and exposure of his creative process in order to combat the threat of more leaks. For pretty much the entire first quarter of 2024, A$AP Rocky would not reveal much about music. Everything was mostly about his new clothing line, American Sabotage, his fragrance deals, etc. However, the drought of music news would finally end in April, as Rocky would reveal in an interview with GQ that his new album was finally in the mastering stage. Very soon after, Rocky would drop a fire-ass feature off the Future and Metro Boomin album We Still Don't Trust You on the song Show of Hands, officially entering the Drake-Kendrick beef. And then on April 24th, the AWGE website would be updated with some new items available in the shop, with those items being merch for Don't Be Dumb. The hoodies and shirts available for purchase were actually sold for the first time last year at Rocky's Rolling Loud performance, with pretty much every piece having the American Sabotage branding. American Sabotage is A$AP Rocky's new clothing line, and soon after putting the Don't Be Dumb merch up on the AWGE website, Rocky would announce a runway show set for Paris Fashion Week to display the debut collection of American Sabotage, and this is where some major music news would be revealed. On June 21st, 2024, A$AP Rocky would finally announce the official release date for his 4th studio album at the show, revealing that the album will drop on August 30th. During the show, as well as models showed off the American Sabotage clothing, Rocky would play some new songs expected to be on the album. Tracks played at the event include a song fans are calling Going Dumb featuring Tommy Revenge, and a track being referred to as This Is the Way the World Ends with a feature from A$AP Nast. As the show came to a conclusion, the stream would put up this link basically that led to all of the pre-save info for Don't Be Dumb, including the merch bundles and of course the release date. Rocky had the vinyl with him at the show on the runway, but he would also show it off in an interview after the event with Outpump, where he would reveal that Don't Be Dumb is completely finished 2 months before that August 30th date when this interview happened in July, of course. An official trailer for the album would drop on June 23rd, with a distorted version of the national anthem being heard in the video. And as of now, finally, after 4 years, Don't Be Dumb will officially be dropping in just 1 month. Due to Rocky's comments in various interviews, we kind of have a strong idea as to some of the themes that could likely be on this album. First off, it's very likely that Rocky will reflect on being a father, as since testing in 2018, he has had 2 kids. Also, on that same note of family, we're definitely going to see Rocky reflecting on his relationship with Rihanna, as when Testing dropped his last album in 2018, the two weren't even together yet. And although I don't think this record will be the love story album that Rocky was cooking up about Rihanna in 2022, it's very likely that maybe a few of those tracks from that era, at least the concepts in them, will carry over to this final version of Don't Be Dumb. The other major theme of this record appears as if it's going to be American culture, especially American political culture, in alignment with the American Sabotage debut collection. The collection was mainly described by Rocky in an interview as political satire, so I'm thinking maybe we'll see some of that energy in the lyrics on Don't Be Dumb, unless it's purely an aesthetic thing, but time will tell. It's also very possible that Rocky will drop a single in August, very close to the album's release date, to really just build up hype for that final time before it drops on the 30th. But at the same time, he has released a lot of fucking singles for this project, and then that brings up the discussion of which of the singles are even gonna appear on Don't Be Dumb. We already know that Shittin' Me was a Lucy. D.M.B really seems like a product of a very different version of this album back in 2022, so I don't think that one's going to be on this record either. The only singles that I think have a chance of being on the official track list of the album are probably Same Problems and Riot, but again, we'll see. Finally, we're going to finish things out running through some expected features on this album that I kind of couldn't mention just due to it kind of fucking up the timeline. Gotta have a structure to these things, people. Back in July of 2023, Rocky confirmed that Peso Pluma will be featured on Don't Be Dumb, but the issue lies in how similar the summer 2023 version of this album is to the version that will be releasing this August in 2024. We'll have to see if the track featuring Peso made it over to the final version of the album. And speaking of that kind of same energy, it's kind of the same thing with a possible Baby Keem feature, as Rocky back in 2021 at Summer Smash in Chicago played a track called Baby Talk featuring Keem. To be honest, I think that I'm most confident that Westside Gunn will be featured on this album. Him and Rocky have become very frequent collaborators, and I'm so fucking that just makes me so happy. The two have also linked on multiple occasions in the past year, both in November of 2023 and a month ago at Paris Fashion Week, so don't be surprised if you hear some of those iconic Westside Gunn ad-libs. I'm also very confident that KC will have a feature or two on this project, as he apparently produced the track Played in Paris by A$AP Rocky featuring Tommy Revenge. He's also been commenting on a whole lot of Rocky's Instagram posts, especially those pertaining to Don't Be Dumb, and we already have confirmation he was involved with the album process, having those producer credits. So I'm definitely thinking we're going to hear some KC vocals on Don't Be Dumb as well. Finally, we saved the most exclusive for last, as there is some speculation around Rihanna having a potential feature on Don't Be Dumb. The rumors mostly come from this lyric Rocky said in Riot last year, but this is the first album Rocky is dropping since the two became a couple, so maybe the impossible is possible. And with that is pretty much all we know regarding A$AP Rocky's upcoming 4th studio album, Don't Be Dumb. It has been a long and complicated 4-year journey, but with Rocky, I have no doubt in my mind that he's gonna deliver. Definitely going to put out a video when the album drops talking about my thoughts and reactions to the record. So if you want to keep up to date with my future uploads on this channel, you can go ahead and follow me on socials at DigitalXDWNLD and Instagram, Casey Culkin. And until next time, don't be dumb. I'll see you in the next one.